I'm out on that aforementioned ride, the one I told you about. So what do I think? Well, after replacing the plugs, gapping them, replacing the air filter, adjusting the valves to within spec, removing the carbon canister and the tip over valve, then syncing the throttle bodies at both idle and 4,000 RPM, and then remapping it with the Beetle stock map, has it made a difference to the bike? If you remember when I first rode the bike, I loved it every way except for one thing, and it was between about 3,000 and 3,500 RPM. There was a very fluffy spot in the fueling. It just didn't like to hang there, it didn't like to be there. When you revved through it, the power dropped away. It sort of argy-bargied its way through that part of the rev range, but it wasn't particularly happy about it. Well, I'm pleased to say after all of that and adding Beetle's remap, that is completely gone. The fueling on this thing is now perfect. It is so beautiful and linear up to 5,000 RPM. There's not a hiccup, there's not a burble. It's just absolutely beautiful. It comes on predictably, and 3,000 to 3,500 RPM, there's all the torque you could want. Has it increased the torque? I would say, now it's been a long time since I rode this bike, I would say not significantly, not in a way that I can say, wow, it's leaping out at me, but certainly in that area of 2,500 to 3,500, because there's no flat spot, you've got, it feels like you've got more torque there. Where it has made a significant difference is above 5,500 RPM. This used to have a very linear acceleration on it. Now, above 5,500 RPM, this thing takes off. Now, is it as quick as the Z900 RS? No. Is it a super fast? No, it isn't. But compared with what it was, it is lovely. It's a real thrill. The first time it happened, I was pleasantly surprised. It really does exponentially kick you between the shoulder blades and shove you forward. So that is another area that I'm really happy with. All I wanted to do when I got into this was to improve the fueling on it. And if that was all I wanted to do, then that's done 100% for me. The pleasant offshoot of that is there is actually more acceleration above 5,500 RPM. That was an unintended consequence, but one that I'm more than happy to keep. Thank you very much, Beetle. I appreciate it. $100 US for that map, and you can get yourself a map for a Termignoni exhaust or any other of the major Griso exhausts that are out there. I would suggest you do that. If you have one of those, don't try to slap this one on, because they are very exhaust specific maps from what I hear. Will I be upgrading my exhaust? Yeah, there was an exhaust I saw, I forget the make, it was a carbon one. They no longer do it in carbon, they do it in silver. I just don't like the silver look on it. The carbon one is absolutely gorgeous, and someone's got it fitted. It's a high pipe, quite high, and it really reveals the single-sided swing arm. So perhaps in the near future, or the distant future, I don't know, I will potter around with the stock one for a little while longer, but perhaps in the future I will go and splurge for a Termignoni or this high exhaust. The name eludes me, and then of course I would have to get, and will get, another map from Beetle. Well worth it. Now I've been through the process. Very, very simple, and yeah, very, very happy with how everything went. So thanks for hanging around this long, and thanks for all the feedback and the positive vibes I've got from people about doing this. One last thing I will be asked was, were there any snags? One thing I should mention is this did not go snag free. There was one area of this whole process which was a bit of a bind, but that was self-inflicted. I did it myself. So it was basically the fact that when you ordered the OBD cord and the Fiat ECU plug-in cord that you plug into the ECU with, naturally, when you order that, the Fiat ECU cord has got a positive and negative electrical pair of terminals to plug into your battery. Don't do as I did. Sit there trying to get the alligator clips onto one of the terminals. They were very hard to fasten on, meanwhile forgetting about the other one, and it touched the battery. This sparked, and for about 3 weeks I nervously waited for a replacement cord to come, while I wondered if I had, one, screwed up my USB port on my computer because the bike could no longer communicate with the computer. It ran, so I was pretty sure I hadn't done my number 2, which was fry the ECU. Could you imagine? So until I actually got the cord in my hand and went ahead and redid the whole process of flashing and etc, etc, I wasn't quite sure if I had an ECU to flash. But anyway, it all went well, and needless to say, it was just the cord that inflicted some damage actually on the other cord. The other cord has a chip in it, and I have a feeling it fried that. So a little more expensive for me, not much, the cords weren't very expensive, but it was 3 weeks I had to wait, and I was, you know, apart from wondering if I'd actually fried the ECU, it was a frustrating wait because I was so close to being done. So yeah, there was a bit of self-inflicted pain there. I think I've mentioned that to a few people in the comments earlier, but it's done now, and I'm happy. Whoa! There she goes, so eager. Wow. Okay. So thanks for sticking around this long. Don't forget to subscribe, give it a thumbs up, share it if you can. I really appreciate all the fantastic feedback I get from the videos, especially these sorts of videos. Lots of positive feedback from Guzzi owners who are contemplating doing this or who have done it and given me little shortcuts. I really appreciate that. So this is the BlueMarbleRider, out.
Once again, thanks for watching everyone. If this is the first time you've watched, please consider subscribing. I do motorcycle reviews, motorcycle related product reviews, off-road and on-road vlogs as well as tours. Even though I'm not the most diligent poster, don't forget to follow me on social media. That's Instagram, Facebook and Twitter. And to like. And especially, I'm begging you here folks, subscribe. And don't forget to click the bell so that you're notified whenever I release a video. This is the BlueMarbleRider, out.